Speaking from experience, your 20s are weird. You're 18, almost 19, graduating high school, and you are told, go to college. So that's what I did. I went to a local community state college, and my first thought of like what I wanted to major in, I wanted to go into accounting. I was good enough at math where I enjoyed it, and I was thinking, I'm good with numbers, I'm good with crunching numbers. Let me go into accounting. So I take my first couple basic accounting 1 and accounting 2 courses, and I was like, oh my god, I do not want to sit and stare at numbers all day, income statements, revenue statements, all that good stuff, like liability and assessment statements. I hated it. I didn't enjoy the classes at all. So I was thinking, okay, well, I still want to go like the business route. So let me do marketing. Hey, yeah, let's go marketing. It's a lot more creative. You can create different marketing campaigns, et cetera, et cetera. So that's what I started to go for. So got into college, or transferred over to a 4-year university with my associate's degree, and my path was marketing. And this was right around the time where COVID hit. So, we were remote. We're taking the classes, and I'm realizing like I'm just going through the motions here. I'm going through these courses, and nothing's really sticking. I'm not like super passionate about it. I couldn't get an internship to save my life. And I start to think like, oh my God, what am I going to do after I graduate? Like, I don't know what I'm going to do. So then I get introduced to this professor who kind of focuses on like sales paths, or like a sales program, pretty much developing you into like a professional salesman, pretty much like for business to business type sales. And I was like, you know what? I don't know what I'm doing with this marketing degree. If I graduate, I'm going to graduate without a job. So screw it. Like I'll take a risk and I'll join this program. And what an absolutely amazing program. Like I didn't want to do marketing anymore. I was thinking, okay, hey, yeah, I'm going to go into sales. Like, yeah, let's do sales. What kind of sales? We can do medical sales, pharma sales, tech sales, real estate. So I wasn't 100% set on the sales thing, but I was pretty confident, like, all right, we'll go to the sales route. So graduated from the program, graduated from university, and got a job in tech sales. So, I was pretty much the grunt at that point. I was doing the cold calling, the cold emailing, pretty much reaching out to potential clients, potential prospects, and asking them, hey, like, what's your current tech stack look like? What are you guys looking to achieve, like cybersecurity wise, at your company this year? Let's have a chat. Like my whole quota was based on meetings that I booked for my account executives. And it started out nice. It started out really good. I was kind of killing the lower level accounts, the lower revenue accounts. But when I got moved up to enterprise level accounts, it just absolutely destroyed me. We were trying to break into like a new market for the company I was working with, and it was just that there was no track record of it previously. So I was kind of pretty new into it, and it absolutely destroyed me. Like I was absolutely miserable. Like I would do like 50 to 60 cold calls a day. I'd be lucky if I got 1 or 2 people on the line, and I'd be lucky if none of those 2 people absolutely just hung up on me or told me to never call them again, or told them not to call their personal cell number, trying to sell them shit. And I don't know, guys, it just ate me up. Like I just felt absolutely miserable every day. Like I almost hated clocking out and going about my night, because I was like, oh my God, I'm dreading having to wake up tomorrow and doing this all over again. So long story short there, I don't think that that side of sales was for me. So I ended up really not hitting quota, not really reaching my metrics. So I ended up deciding, well, hey, I don't want to do this sales side anymore, but I really enjoyed all my tech chats at the company, like meeting with sales engineers and just getting a better understanding of our products, how they work, how we pitch them to customers, where we fit in the current tech stack, et cetera, et cetera. And I really enjoyed that piece of it. So, I asked my boss, I was like, hey, is there a way I can kind of make a pivot over to a tech position or a more techie position? But at the time, I mean, they were kind of doing hiring freezes, or this is what I was told at least, like they were doing hiring freezes, and there just wasn't really any room for me to move over. So I was like, okay, well, I'm not succeeding in my current role. I can't transition over to like a sales engineer or a tech position. It's time for me to leave. So that's ultimately what I decided. I decided to put my like resignation, excuse me, and decided, all right, well, if I want to get a tech career, I need to start from the ground up. So, after this tech sales job, looking for my entry level role into IT. I think it took me like 3 or 4 months. I was unemployed for 3 or 4 months, and obviously I had a lot of funds saved up in my savings accounts, and I still lived at home at the time, so it just made it easier on me. But I mean, still, like, if you're like a motivated person, if you're like dedicated to leveling up in life, or you want to be successful, you feel bummy, just not being employed for a couple months. You just feel like trash. Sure, it's nice the first month or a few weeks where you're like, man, I can wake up, I can do whatever I want, I can sleep in, I can go to the gym in the morning. I pretty much don't have a scheduled day. But as the weeks and the months go by, and you're like, okay, well, I'm only spending money, I'm not making any money, I'm not progressing. You start to feel a little bummy. So I finally landed a job as like their first ever like IT support person, and it was what I needed. It was a stepping stone. It wasn't like a traditional IT support position. It was more like, okay, hey, like you help set up accounts for softwares that the company employees use, whether it be like set up their phones, set up their, I think they used Paylocity for like human resources, like payroll, time off, et cetera, et cetera. But I mean, it was a nice starting point, and it let me, put that experience on my resume. So future jobs would be like, okay, he has some form of IT experience. So I think I was there for 9 months to a year, I think. And then I finally landed at my current company. My current company, they were looking for a kind of a similar role, like a tech specialist or like a help desk specialist. And, by this time I was like, you know what, I need a little more experience, but my ultimate goal is to get into a cybersecurity position, because, the tech sales company that I worked for kind of displayed themselves or kind of portrayed themselves as a like cybersecurity company. And I enjoyed that side of it. I enjoyed kind of like hearing cyber talks or like just like cyber news, cyber statistics. And then just like overall like studying and thinking of like future career paths in IT, I kind of stumbled upon cybersecurity. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna try to stick with that for now. And that's ultimately what I did. I got this position at my current company. I ended up as like in my first position in the help desk position, I did studying on the side, did labs on the side, and I actually got my Security Plus from CompTIA. It's just a very well-known, very respected kind of certificate organization, and the Security Plus is a very popular one, especially when it comes to like government level or like federal government requirements of just like any entry level IT position. They like to see you have Security Plus. It's kind of like a DoD requirement that they like to see. So it was nice either way. It was like killing two birds with one stone with that certification. So a year into my current company, I expressed my interest in cybersecurity to my boss, and at the time they're like, yeah, well, we don't really have any plans on expanding the security team. So I was like, okay, well, I just want to let you know, like, I'm interested in cybersecurity. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I will probably be looking around to pivot to a cybersecurity position, like if it's at a new company, so be it. And he respected that. He respected the honesty. And a week or two later, he actually called me into his office and said, hey, the executives are talking, we want to expand the security team. So whether he told the administrative staff that, oh, hey, Dominic showed interest in cybersecurity or whatever it is. But they expanded the team, and he offered me a position as a junior security admin. And, I was like, hey, that's it. Like I achieved a goal. I set out for a security position, and I got it. And not only did I get it, I got it in, I'd say, less than 2 years of overall IT experience. I landed my first cybersecurity position. So, I mean, it was just like a surreal moment. I was like, wow, like thinking back now, like I think, wow, I initially was going to school for accounting. I landed on marketing. I didn't want to do marketing, so I did a sales program at my university, thinking, sales was my thing. Ended up not enjoying it. Went into, or I guess not went into, but like kind of found a passion or a strong interest to get into IT/cybersecurity. And I was able to do it. I was able to career pivot, and in less than 2 years, land a official cybersecurity position. So I guess I just wanted to make this video tonight to just kind of give you a little background about myself, career-wise, or I guess, yeah, like where I'm headed in like career-wise, or like my career goals, like especially towards the future, and remind myself like, hey, like if I can do it, then, the world's your oyster. Or I guess not to remind myself, but to remind everybody else in their 20s that just because, you're a forklift operator, or, you're working at a fast food restaurant right now, that, oh, you're stuck, you can't go anywhere, you have your bed now, lie in it. I guess tonight's video is just like hey, you know what? Like, don't think like that. Don't look at it like that. If you want to make a change, if you're not happy where you are, you can absolutely do it. Like, don't let anybody tell you can't. Now, was it difficult in some points, in my journey? Of course it was, not knowing what I wanted to do. Obviously college, isn't the easiest thing, especially, like if you want to go into like a very like mathematical, or like a very difficult subject matter degree. Yeah, it's going to be difficult. And then the job searching, the networking to land that initial job, or to transition careers. It's a struggle now. The job market is definitely tough, but I think the ultimate I guess thing from this video that you should take out of is, don't be complacent where you are if you're not happy. If you're happy where you're at, hey, perfect. Like don't listen to me at all. Ignore this video if you want. But yeah, just take a shot, because especially if you're only in your 20s, like you guys got plenty of time. You guys got plenty of time to grind, or if you make a mistake, you can change. You can change. You have the rest of your 20s, you have your 30s, your 40s, whatever, like whatever year you wanted to switch it up. So I see Clash of Clans gameplay ended in the background. I know we're all sad about that, but yeah, guys, I think that's it on tonight's video. So I hope you enjoyed my little story, kind of on my current journey through life, like career wise, future goals, and I hope I motivated some of you to maybe make that jump to that new field you want to go to, or that job that you think you'd be really good at or passionate about. So as always, guys, thanks for tuning in, and as always, the lunch table out.